Sophie Cunningham just exposed the WNBA's biggest secret about Caitlin Clark, and what she revealed is making league executives panic. The enforcer didn't just defend her teammate, she pulled back the curtain on a conspiracy that goes deeper than anyone imagined. If you're Team Caitlin and Sophie, hit that like button right now and let's expose the truth together. Picture this: June 17th, 2025. Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The moment that changed everything. Sophie Cunningham watched as Jacy Sheldon poked Caitlin Clark in the eye. Then Marina Mabrey knocked her to the ground. And that's when Sophie had enough. What happened next sent shockwaves through the entire WNBA. Sophie didn't just commit a hard foul, she sent a message. A message so powerful that within 48 hours, she went from 300,000 TikTok followers to over 1.4 million. Her Instagram exploded past 1 million. She became the most viral WNBA player, not named Caitlin Clark. But here's what nobody's talking about. This wasn't spontaneous. This was calculated, and Sophie just revealed why. It literally pisses me off when people are like, she's not the face of the league, Sophie said in a recent interview that's been quietly deleted from several platforms. Who would be? What? When people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, you're dumb as faux. You're literally dumb as faux. But Sophie didn't stop there. What she exposed next should have every WNBA fan demanding answers. Before even joining the Indiana Fever, Sophie was part of the Phoenix Mercury, and she just admitted what they were planning in their locker room. You have seen players in our league try to toughen up Caitlin. Even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room, like, no, we're going to show her what the W really is. Think about that. An entire team sitting in their locker room, plotting how to physically target one player, not because she was dirty, not because she trash talked, but because she was too popular, too successful, too game-changing. Sophie continued, every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're going to treat them, but there's just more for her. It's too much. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much. This is Sophie Cunningham we're talking about, a player who earned a black belt in Taekwondo at age 6, a woman who was the first female to ever score points for her high school football team, someone raised on a farm who describes herself as farm strong. If she says the treatment of Caitlin Clark has gone too far, you better believe it. But the conspiracy goes even deeper. Sophie exposed how the refs are complicit in this targeting. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a buildup for a couple years now of them just not protecting the star player of the WNBA. She revealed specific examples. Full body checks that go uncalled, players holding and grabbing Caitlin long after plays are over, contact that would get other players ejected, resulting in no whistle when it's against Clark. Sophie put it bluntly, if that was anyone else, I would have been booted out of the game. I don't even have a leash. I just have a collar and a hand on it. The double standard is so obvious that even Sophie, who's known for pushing boundaries, can't get the same treatment. She was fined $900 for defending Caitlin, pocket change for someone protecting the league's biggest asset. She laughed it off, saying our fines are a joke. But here's where it gets really interesting. After that viral moment, something shifted in the Fever locker room. Sophie revealed that Caitlin turned to her and said one word. Finally someone had her back. Finally, a teammate stood up. Finally, the targeting would have consequences. Sophie's response, I got you. That simple exchange transformed the Indiana Fever. They went from a collection of individuals to a united front. As Sophie explained, I think that kind of had our team come together as a whole. The impact was immediate. Sophie became known as the Enforcer. Fans created compilation videos set to fight music. The nickname WWE started trending whenever she played. Her jersey sold out within days of her joining the Fever. She became the second most popular player in the league almost overnight. But Sophie wasn't content just playing bodyguard. She went on a media tour exposing the hypocrisy. She called out how everyone, the league, the teams, the media, profits from Caitlin's fame while simultaneously trying to tear her down. I just hate that because this is what we've always wanted as a league. So who cares who gets the credit? If you're smart, you're making money off of her. Think about that statement. The WNBA has struggled for attention for decades. Now they have a player who sells out arenas, drives TV ratings through the roof, and brings in new fans by the millions. And instead of protecting their golden goose, they're letting her get beaten up night after night. Sophie pointed out the absurdity. Teams that plot against Caitlin in the locker room are the same ones cashing in when she plays in their arena. The players throwing shade in interviews are wearing signature shoes that only sell because of the attention Caitlin brings to the league. It's biting the hand that feeds you on a massive scale. The numbers don't lie. When Caitlin plays, arenas sell out. When she doesn't, they're half empty. Games featuring the Fever get millions of views. Games without them, 600,000 if they're lucky. Sophie knows this. Every player knows this. Yet the targeting continues. But Sophie revealed something else. Something that should terrify WNBA executives. She warned them directly. If you piss off this fan base and Caitlin Clark leaves, it's lights out. You're being warned by the fan base right now. If you don't protect the face of your league, you're pushing away the very people who are saving it. This isn't hyperbole. Sophie has seen what happens when Caitlin's fans mobilize. Her own social media explosion is proof. Over 1 million new followers in days. Engagement rates that marketing executives dream about, all because she did what the league wouldn't, protect their star. The Indiana Fever president recently had to deactivate her Twitter account due to fan backlash. Why? Because the organization wasn't doing enough to protect Caitlin. Fans are watching every game, every foul, every moment of targeting, and they're done being quiet about it. Sophie's message to the league was crystal clear. You cannot push aside your greatest assets. You can't take the spotlight off of them. You can't put cuffs on them as players. You're going to create animosity, resentment towards the franchise. But here's what makes Sophie different from everyone else speaking out. She has nothing to lose. She's already been labeled MAGA Barbie by critics who misidentified a hot cowgirl summer hat as political. She's been fined for speaking truth. She's been criticized for being too aggressive. And you know what? She doesn't care. If you're going to do something, don't be catty. Do it for real, Sophie said, quoting advice from her mother. And that's exactly what she's doing. No filter, no PR spin, just raw truth. The latest development proves Sophie's impact. When Caitlin was named captain of the 2025 WNBA All-Star team, becoming the first second-year player to earn that honor, Sophie's reaction was immediate. One word on Instagram: gang. It's more than support. It's solidarity. It's a message that Caitlin isn't alone anymore. The days of suffering in silence are over. But Sophie's influence extends beyond social media posts. She's fundamentally changed how the game is played when Caitlin's on the court. Opponents now know there are consequences. You poke Caitlin in the eye, Sophie's coming for you. You knock her down after the whistle? Prepare for retaliation. Some call it dirty, Sophie calls it necessary. And judging by the explosion in her popularity, millions of fans agree. The transformation has been remarkable. Before Sophie arrived, Caitlin was getting targeted every game with no response. Players would openly talk about showing her what the W is about. They'd commit hard fouls and walk away laughing. The refs would swallow their whistles. The league would count their money and look the other way. Now, there's fear in opponents' eyes. They know Sophie's watching. They know she's not afraid of fines, ejections, or criticism. They know she has a black belt and the farm's strength to back it up. Most importantly, they know she means what she says. At the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. I'm a team player, Sophie declared. But it's more than that. She's become the voice for millions of fans who see what's happening and demand change. The WNBA finds itself in an impossible position. They can't punish Sophie too harshly without proving her point about double standards. They can't ignore her because she's too popular now. And they can't silence her because she's already said too much. Meanwhile, Caitlin continues to dominate. 19 points per game, 9 assists, 5 rebounds, all while being targeted more than any player in recent memory. Imagine her numbers if she got the same protection as other stars. Imagine if refs called fouls consistently. Imagine if opponents played basketball instead of mixed martial arts. Sophie imagines it, and she's determined to make it reality, one hard foul at a time. But here's the kicker. Sophie's not asking for special treatment. She's demanding equal treatment. The same whistles other stars get. The same protection from cheap shots. The same respect for the player saving their league. When people try to argue that she's not the face of our league, or if our league would be where we're at without her, you're dumb, Sophie repeated. No sugarcoating, no diplomatic language, just facts. The evidence supports her. Attendance records shattered, TV ratings through the roof, merchandise flying off shelves, social media engagement at all-time highs, all because of one player that the league refuses to protect. Sophie's revelation about Phoenix's locker room planning sessions should be a watershed moment. This isn't speculation or conspiracy theory. This is a player admitting that teams literally strategize about physically targeting Caitlin Clark. Not her game, not her skills, her body. If this happened in the NBA, it would be front-page news. Congressional hearings would be held, Suspensions would rain down. But in the WNBA, it's Wednesday. Sophie's courage in exposing this can't be overstated. She's burning bridges with former teammates. She's making enemies across the league. She's risking her career to tell the truth. Why? Because someone has to. I just hate that because this is what we've always wanted as a league, she said, her frustration evident. The WNBA spent decades begging for attention, relevance, and respect. Now they have it, delivered by a ponytailed superstar from Iowa. And instead of embracing it, they're trying to destroy it. Sophie sees the bigger picture. She understands that Caitlyn's success elevates everyone. Higher salaries, better travel conditions, increased media coverage, it all flows from the attention Caitlyn brings. Yet players would rather protect their egos than their bank accounts. The transformation Sophie has brought to the Fever can't be measured in statistics alone. Yes, they're winning more, yes, the chemistry is better, but more importantly, they're playing with pride. They're not victims anymore. They're fighters. And that's what Sophie Cunningham represents. The fight the WNBA doesn't want but desperately needs. A fight for fairness, respect, and common sense. A fight that says you can't profit from someone while trying to destroy them. A fight that millions of fans have been waiting for. Subscribe right now if you want more explosive WNBA truth bombs. Because Sophie Cunningham isn't done talking, and the league isn't ready for what she's about to reveal next. The war for the soul of women's basketball has begun. Sophie Cunningham just fired the first shot. And if you stand with Caitlin Clark, if you believe in protecting the players who elevate the game, if you're tired of the hypocrisy and double standards, then you know which side you're on. Sophie said it best. I got you. 3 words that changed everything. 3 words that the WNBA will remember as the moment their conspiracy against Caitlin Clark began to crumble. 3 words that prove sometimes one person with courage is all it takes to start a revolution.